My friends, happy new year. It's 2025, but what were the worst cars of 2024? The absolute worst from a variety of reasons, but I'm talking looking at it from a global perspective, guys. I know some of you are from Canada, I know some of you are from the United States, I know some of you are from New Zealand, Australia. You are from all over the world. So from a global perspective, these were the 10 worst electric cars in the world that I hope you didn't buy, but I know many of you probably did. And we also have there's a few models that nearly made the top 10 worst cars in the world. Now, looking at these cars and just looking at the specs on them, the charging speed, the prices, I can't believe they exist. They exist. They cost this much and they come with this technology. I'm kind of still scratching my head just thinking, is this a joke? I mean, is this a massive April Fool's Day that just went on for the entirety of the year? Guys, here's the list. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. It's great to have you with us. I'm Sam Evans. Welcome to the Electric Viking. Now, the top 10 cars. Let's get straight to it. First one, the Toyota BZ4X. Self-explanatory. It's about the price of a Tesla Model Y. In Australia, it's more than $10,000 more expensive than a Tesla Model Y. It has less range. It has a very nasty looking plastic, fantastic interior, just grey scratch plastic everywhere, all over the car. It has below competitors' charging speeds. It's just a compliance car. And guys, if you don't agree with me on this, if you bought one of these, just Google some reviews. There's so many people that would tell you exactly the same thing. By the way, another reason, the wheels were falling off. So Toyota tried to buy back all the cars that they sold in the US for the first 6 months after it went on sale because the wheels were falling off. Second place. I shouldn't say second because, to be honest, now guys, I got to apologize. There's fireworks going off. Right now it's turned 2025. It's just gone from exactly 12 o'clock. It's just gone to 12:01 right now. So yeah, happy new year. Second place, Subaru Solterra. Now I just like the Subaru brand better than Toyota, but it's just as bad. They're exactly the same car. There's no difference between them. It's just a rebadged vehicle. Don't get me wrong. I mean, at least Subaru have an EV. At least Toyota have an EV. Doesn't mean you should buy it. Guys, if you won the lottery, go right ahead. Buy whatever car you want. Doesn't matter. But for us people who have to make our money the hard way, making videos at 12:01 a.m. on the first day of 2025, well, don't waste your money on either of those two cars. Next, this is actually 3 different cars, but they're all the same thing. Mini Cooper, the Mini Countryman, and the Mini Aceman EVs. 3 different models of car. But it's all basically the same platform. It's overpriced. That's the big problem with those vehicles. They're all fine as city cars. I think they'd be fine. If you got them for a 50% discount, go right ahead, my friends. 50% discount, that would be great. But at the prices they're at, they're more expensive than their rivals. They're just, I mean, come on. You can get an MG4, has better technology, it's half the price. Why would you buy one of those? That's what I want to own. But what surprises me is I actually looked up global sales of those cars. They're selling all right. Yeah, I don't understand that, but anyhow, it's better than the petrol version. It's better than the gasoline version, so, you know. Mercedes-Benz EQA is next. Guys, about a year ago, I did a comparison test between 24 different cars. In fact, it wasn't me that did this. It was a European car magazine. It's actually one of the biggest car tests in the world, but outside of Norway, no one hears about it. No one. I mean, literally no one. So I looked at all the details. It took ages. It was really kind of scattered all over the place, all the data for this test. And I put all the details in a spreadsheet. This took me probably like 15 hours. It was insane. I put all the details in the spreadsheet, and it turned out the Mercedes-Benz EQA, based on all my statistical measurements, I put all these different statistical measurements in there, and I rated the cars on value for money. The Mercedes-Benz EQA was the worst value for money EV out of those 24 different cars in that comparison test. Range for the price, it wasn't great. Charging speed for the price, it wasn't great. It's not a great car. Mercedes-Benz actually makes some decent EVs. That's not one of them. If you bought one, sorry, not sorry. Mazda MX-30. Now, Mazda stopped selling this car during the year, during 2024, because enough people realized it wasn't good. It was about the price of a Tesla Model Y. It was a lot smaller. It had a lot less range. In fact, range was abysmal. It was like 200 kilometers of range, about 120 miles, just ridiculous for the price. Might have been the worst value car ever in Australian history. Potentially, it's certainly up there with, on a short list anyway. Charging speed, it's all abysmal, guys. Now, these cars, you're probably going to see them used or secondhand for what you think is a bargain. Don't buy them. I mean, you can get used EVs for really good prices, but you can get good ones for really good prices. These cars, let the suckers buy them. Let the people who don't watch reviews, who can't be bothered, let them buy them. Don't get one of them yourself. Next, the Lexus UX300e. Now, the UX300e, it's basically the Toyota BZ4X with a premium price put on top of it. Pretty much the same car. But it charges much more slowly. Bizarrely, I don't understand that. It's got 50 kilowatt DC charging, and in Australia, the cheapest price you can get for the UX300e is 80,000 Australian dollars. So about 57,000 US dollars, right? It's got a 300 litre boot. It's the smallest boot of any SUV I've ever seen in my life. I can't understand that. It's just insane. Packaging, worst packaging of any SUV ever made. And if you can find any other SUV with worse packaging, with a smaller boot than that, smaller than a 300 litre boot, I challenge you. Please email me. I'll give you some sort of prize. I'll think of something, because I don't think there is one. It's the worst. And it's got 50 kilowatt DC fast charging, and it's overpriced. It's one of the worst EVs ever in history based on all those criteria. Yeah. If you bought one, like I said, sorry, not sorry. The Lexus RZ 450e is next. There you go. Fireworks. It really is New Year's Eve. Well, it was. It's over now. Lexus RX 450e. This actually wouldn't be a bad electric car. It's okay. But considering it starts at a price of $125,000 in Australia, which is, I don't know, 75,000 euros, 70,000 US dollars, around that price, 70,000. Considering it costs that much money, it's ridiculously overpriced. It has a 62 kilowatt hour battery. It has 395 kilometers of range. What? For $120,000. That's the cheapest version of this car. Guys, at this price, you can get something really premium. You can get a Polestar. You can get some really nice luxury electric cars now. There's no reason to get something mediocre, because that's what the Lexus RZ 450e is. It's not bad, but for $120,000, well, put it this way. If it was half the price, I'd say, yeah, pretty good. Actually, very good. But it's not. The Jaguar I-Pace. Yes, there was still Jaguar I-Paces being sold in 2024. I believe that might have ended now. I think it's officially ended a few months ago. Now, this was once the world car of the year. So a lot of people are going to be probably looking up these used cars. Oh, Jaguar I-Pace electric car. World car of the year. Whoa, okay, bang, I'm going to go buy one of those. Brilliant. Probably thinking they're getting a used car deal. Wow, what a deal I'm going to get, right? No, guys, these things are setting themselves on fire, and Jaguar doesn't know how to fix it. They keep on recalling them, and they keep on setting themselves on fire. Currently, there's been, I don't know how many recalls, I can't even count, so many. This thing is a disaster. Don't touch it. I mean, don't go anywhere near it. I mean, if you see one, don't go near it. And that's what Jaguar is telling you as well, by the way. Jaguar is telling you, park it away from your house, away from your garage, away from people, away from trees, away from everything. So where are you going to park it? I don't know. Middle of the road, maybe? Middle of the street? Just hope that people can see it at night time, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's a good way to dispose of it. Next, the Fiat Abarth 500e. I like this car, right? So why is it in the list? Well, it costs the same as a Tesla Model Y standard range. It's the same price as an Xpeng G6, yeah? And it's about half the size, has half the range. In fact, has less than half the range. Less. I mean, the Xpeng G6 has 570 kilometers of range and charges at around 290 kilowatt. The Fiat Abarth 500e costs the same, has 253 kilometers of range, and it has less performance. Now, the Abarth is meant to be the hot hatch performance vehicle, and I mean, it would be a hot hatch 10 years ago, but this is 2024. It's not fast. There's family cars that are not the performance version that are faster. So it's just bad value. Now, 253 kilometers of range, I mean, what's that, 150 miles, would be okay if it was half the price, but it's not. And that's why the Fiat 500e is not being produced right now. The factories, they've all gone on holidays. They're all on permanent holidays because people aren't buying them because they're actually not bad, but they're just too expensive because they're made in Europe, basically. All right, we have 4 close cars that nearly made the list, but not quite. So these 4 lucky winners, I should tell you who they are. I mean, they're not going to like it because no one likes this stuff, but I'm going to start with it. LDV's ET60. Now, the reason this didn't make the list is there's only one reason, and that is because it's not sold in most countries around the world. It's sold in about 10 different countries, but it's not sold in America. It's not really sold in Europe either. So, you know what? I decided not to include it in the list just for that reason. That was it. But it's a horrendous vehicle. I've seen them in person. The battery pack is just glued onto the bottom. They just screw it onto the bottom. Wires are hanging out exposed. I'm not joking. This is true. It has abysmal range. It's twice the price of the internal combustion version. It's a joke. And I believe in some countries, they've discounted the price by 50% to sell them. At that price, it's okay. It's still not very good. BYD 803 makes my list of nearly getting in the top 10. Now, the 803 is not a bad car. It's actually not bad. But considering it's got some serious rivals, the new Geely EX5 is going to be out very soon. There's many other cars now on the market that cost a similar price. Leapmotor C10 is more luxurious. It's much bigger. It's about the same price. There's just too many other options that are better. But the BYD 803 didn't make the top 10 list of cars you shouldn't buy because I actually think it's still a pretty good car. It's just a little bit overpriced now because of these other rivals that have come from China. Now, the BMW i7 was very, very close to making my list. I had it so close. And the reason is because the i7, here's the real reason. If you've been watching Out of Spec, the EV channel, they did a comparison test where they got all these EVs and they drove all the way across America. I think it was about nearly 5,000 miles. Now, in this race, there was a Tesla Model 3, the cheapest version of the Model 3. There was a Porsche Taycan, there was a Hyundai Ioniq 5, there was a whole bunch of EVs. The BMW i7, I believe, was the most expensive vehicle in the list, either that or the Porsche. It was either the BMW or the Porsche, I'm not too sure. Anyway, the BMW came second last in getting from one side of the country to the other. So charging was pretty abysmal. And in my opinion, if you're going to pay 300,000 Australian dollars, or what do they cost? What are they, like 180,000 US dollars in America? You don't want to come second last, right? That is not luxury. I made this point actually when I initially did a review of the BMW i7. I was like, guys, this thing is really expensive and it doesn't have any standout features. Its charging is not particularly fast. Its range is not particularly great. I don't understand. Now, I understand the appeal of BMWs. I've owned a few of them. They're nice cars. But for the price, it's just not good value. Yeah. Next, the Genesis G80. The Genesis G80 costs around $150,000 here in Australia. I know it's, $90,000 in America. Europe, it's about the same. And it's not a bad vehicle. It's just a lot of money. A lot of money for a vehicle that has worse technology than my car that costs about 1/3 of the price. It does, right? It does. It charges more slowly than my car, which is 1/3 of the price. It has less range, or about the same range as my car. I just can't understand. If you're going to bring out a new car, you're going to charge $150,000. You've got to make it a bit better than a car that costs $60,000. But it's not. Now, yeah, sure, the seats are probably nicer materials on them, etc. But anyway, so that's my list. Now, those 4 cars were not in my top 10, guys. So the BYD 803, the Genesis G80, the BMW i7, and the LDV ET60, they weren't in the list. So I don't mark them down too harshly. But the LDV ET60, it should have been. I just didn't put it in there because, there was 10 other cars. What are your thoughts? Do you agree with me? I'll probably cop a bit of flack from this. I'll probably get a few emails of some hate. But anyhow, I thought you needed to know. Thanks for watching. Have a great 2025. You know what? It's going to be an awesome year. There's so much technology coming. So many new battery technology. I mean, 900 kilowatt charging I'm hearing from insiders at Zeekr. That's like charging a battery in about 8 minutes. Guys, this is the future. If you want to pay a lot of money for an EV, they're going to be some amazing EVs. You can pay a boatload of money. You can pay BMW i7 price for some of the EVs that are going to come, but they're going to have justification for that price, right? They're going to give you the features and the tech that you want. They're going to give you 1,000 kilometers of range. They're going to give you the ability to charge in 10 minutes, 9 minutes, etc. Keep your money. If you want to spend a lot of money on a really nice car, they're going to come in next year. Keep your money, hold on to it, and buy one of those. Thanks for watching.